Look, memory can change the shape of a room, it can change the color of a car. And memories can be distorted. They're just an interpretation, they're not a record. And they're irrelevant if you have the facts.
Someone wants me. Someone roaming the streets wants me.
Your car's uglier than I am. That didn't come out right.
It's the Al Travis Show, and we love wrapping up our Mondays with Senator Karin Housley. This is an interesting Monday. There's lots to ask you about, not necessarily at work, but let me start with this. You are obviously much younger than I.
I think we're the same.
I know, but I don't want people to know that because I talk about how old I am. I cannot go with this Ovechkin thing. I can't go. I get it. 895. Good for you. Got it. Wayne Gretzky's the greatest of all time, followed by Phil Housley. I throw that in there now. Those two, then you can throw Ovechkin in, okay? Is that okay? I don't want him to be the best. It's Wayne Gretzky.
It's hard. And Phil actually said to me this weekend, I never, ever, ever in a million years thought Gretzky's record would be broken, like ever.
Yeah.
But then there's our kids who, like Ovechkin is, like our son is and our son is 33. And Ovechkin to him is the greatest ever. It's so funny because on the night that he got the 894, and the next day Sunday he got the 895, Ovechkin did. We're in our family group text, and Wilson, honestly, like he was lucky enough to go gambling with Ovechkin one night at the All-Star game. Ovechkin said, "Hey Wilson, you want to go to the casino?" And Wilson was like, "Yeah, I'll go to the casino with Ovi." But Wilson in the family group text said, "I'm just so pumped that I got Ovi's stick back in Columbus." And I was like, oh, was that stick in the garage?
No way.
And he goes, "Yeah, you guys have it for me." And I said, "If you didn't get that stick, I mean, I had to use a stick for a shovel to get snow off my car." Yeah, I did. I'm telling you, it was like panic. He calls her and he goes, Mom, that's my Ovi stick. And Phil was like, "Why did you do that to him?" I'm like, but no, Gretzky will
Senator, well played. I would have done that to well played, Senator.
And Phil is like, "Just get your crap out of our house, would you? Get your stuff." I mean, we have all these bins that have their names on them, and they just keep leaving them there in the garage. But yeah, we still have the Ovi stick. But
I love that.
Yeah, and it is interesting that every generation has their great one, you know, Gordie Howe and then Wayne Gretzky and now I guess Ovi. But for people our age, it'll always be the great one will be Wayne.
Yeah, I have a hard time. And then followed by Phil and then throw Ovechkin in there. I have no problem with that. You watch any of the NCAA?
Yeah, you know what I did? I actually...
Who's the young lady that just snuck in your office? Is she trying to steal from you?
She's doing my work for me. That's Angelique.
Hi,
That's
Angelique.
Angelique, my legislative assistant. And I asked her to make some copies. I've got a big bonding meeting coming up today at 10.
Your new computer follows you around. When the door opened and it went over to her real quick. And that's the only reason I noticed it. It was like, oh.
She knows what my schedule is. She can see it on her calendar. She just ignores it. She sees live on the Al Travis Show and she goes, "Who cares? I'm just going in anyway."
That is too funny.
I've got other meetings besides you today, Al.
Well, and that's good because there's a lot to get done. What are your thoughts on the NCAA? I had Duke going all the way, so I'm a little upset, but I don't know these guys well enough to really bother me. Florida and, Houston. Do you care?
So, well, yes, I do care now because, they have sports betting that's legal in the state of New York. So the other night, I was like, oh, who should I pick? Duke or Houston? Who's Houston anyway? But if you bet $10 on Houston, you could win $33. If I bet $10 on Duke, I could win $11. So I went with Houston. I went with Houston. I went with Houston, and I was like in the family group text going, "Oh, I knew what I was doing."
See what I did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now I didn't bet on because now I'm back in Minnesota, so I can't make 33. Well, I only made 23, but yeah. So I know.
But $23 is a bucket of wings or chicken wings. That's okay.
I consistently have $50 in my DraftKings account throughout the whole year. I like up, down, but I'm always at $50. I
There you
can't,
go.
I don't, because I don't spend more than $10 on a bet. But I actually, you know what happened? They had the over under at 137.5, which is the combined total of the total score. Guess what the combined total was of the Duke? And I picked over.
137.
It was 137. I was like, that would have been another $20 for me.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Loosen it up. Go for it. So are you, because you're in Minnesota, you can't, but are you looking for Florida or Houston? You're going to ride the Houston train because they've already made you $34?
I think I'm probably going to, because I don't think anybody had in their pools Houston winning it. So I think I would like Houston to win it just to see how all the pools just crash. Because I looked through the pool that I'm in and I'm way down at the bottom. But I would like everybody else to fall too.
It is so bad. When I look at you, it's like, we are so alike. I want everyone else's to burn now, all their pools, because I want to see the crash. I'm like, we're just waiting for the crash. We're a lot more alike than that, and that's probably not a good thing. I think that is so funny. Like, I have no vested interest, but watching everyone's, that would be great.
Oh, I'm all and Ann Rest, Senator Ann Rest, she's in like the top 5. She's picked Florida tonight, tonight.
Okay. Yeah, it's tonight.
I'm going to miss it.
Okay. Well, I got to go to break early. I got lots of work things to talk about it with you, not so much the sporting stuff. So let's do that after the break. Okay. All right. She's Senator Karin Housley on the Al Travis Show.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll hear all your favorite hits from the Broadway musical and the movie. Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease! It'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Do you have a closet full of old videos, photos, slides, or films? Regain that space and preserve those memories for future generations. Visit archivinglifemedia.com or call 952-829-8018. See how safe and simple it is to digitize all your media. Gain peace of mind knowing that all those important memories will be saved and can be seen and shared again. Do it today. Check out archivinglifemedia.com or give them a call, 952-829-8018.
Easily offended? The Al Travis Show is not for you. The Al Travis Show. All sides are welcome.
We've got our Senator Karin Housley on the phone with us. And Senator, if you care to take this YouTube video, share it any way you want with all the people on all your massive forums that you're on. I'd love to do that.
You just said I was on the phone with you.
Yeah, I did. As it came out of my mouth, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. The phone's over there. On the YouTube, go to Al Travis Show YouTube page, catch it live. You can catch it on Facebook. I want to talk carefully around this because this bothers me until we get something more. But the Minnesota Reformer came out on the 24th saying that Senator President Bobby Joe Champion is kind of in a pickle in that supposedly he helped this Reverend Jerry McAfee out with some things with his business called Salem. He said he did it pro bono, but at kind of the same time, In and Out will decide how this all works. He helped an ability sponsor get that guy $3 million in funds as what do they call them? Violence prevention group. I don't know how all that works. I don't even know if I understand how violence prevention groups go, because if you want, I'll keep Blue Earth as safe as possible. Send me some money. I don't know how that all works. But Bobby Joe Champion is the Senate president. He's also the head of the ethics committee, which we hear all about these days with all the stuff going on. What happens this week, Senator, with that allegation coming out?
You know what I thought was interesting when it was the violence prevention group, and I've met a couple of them when I was in downtown Minneapolis. I thought they were all volunteer organizations. That's the way they made them sound, because there's like pockets of them all over. And I thought, this is really cool that all these people are doing this and helping prevent violence in their downtown areas. Really cool. I had no idea they were getting $3 million.
They're doing it for pay. Absolutely.
Yeah, for pay. Yeah. So
I'll help my community if you pay me to help my community. Didn't one of these go out after Minneapolis City Council and said, you don't do this, there's going to be trouble? So then they found him $1 million. I mean, it's extortion almost. I'm not sure I like it.
It's, I think Bobby Joe, our Senator Champion, which was interesting because Senator Hoffman in the segment a couple before, go back on YouTube, the Al Travis Show, to see or hear it. But he said, I didn't even read it in the Reformer. And I'm like, oh, come on. Here you're saying your buddy President Trump did this, but you haven't read about your own colleague and what was in your own Democrat rag magazine.
That is so funny you say that. Let me ask you this, because I said here when he said basically he didn't know.
Absolutely, he knew.
We work in businesses of 60 people all the time, 34. He's down to 34 on his side. The rumor of this doesn't get out the day it comes out, let alone the fact it's in a paper. I found it interesting that he felt he did not know what I'm talking about.
And I'm going to give him crap about it on the floor today, because even my husband in New York texts me the link to the Reformer, and he goes, oh boy, what's going on with Bobby Joe? And I was like, if it's made it all the way out there and Phil's feed, Hoffman knew about it. Yeah, you know what? That's going to have to, those things are kind of sticky when there's a conflict of interest and there's money involved, and you can't be doing anything like that. So hopefully Bobby Joe wasn't. But I'm sure when I get to caucus, I'm sure there's going to be an ethics complaint filed, because it has to be looked into, because it should be. I mean, those are taxpayer dollars, and if they're going to something that's benefiting a senator, it shouldn't. So we'll have to find out. And that Bobby Joe Champion is the chair of the ethics committee. We'll have to.
Well, what happens there? I was told that Senator, I'm going to forget her name now, Rest is going to probably fill in that slot. Here's where I think the rest of us, and I love speaking for all of Minnesotans, get a little tired of it, goes to the ethics committee stall. To die. Yeah, nothing. Name one time the ethics committee has come out and said anything and said no, because it's 2 and 2, and I understand that you want to be nonpartisan, but I don't even know at the level of crap you got to get into before the ethics committee will actually act on anything.
And I'm just going to say this: if it were the Republicans in charge and we were the chair of the ethics committee, you saw what we did with Senator Justin Eichhorn. It was unfortunate; he was a friend, but we did what was right. So You would think the ethics committee of the Senate would do what was right, but they have not done it when it comes to Senator Nicole Mitchell. They just it's like this vicious circle of non-answers. And here she still is, the deciding vote on a ton of legislation and now budget bills coming up. So no, the ethics committee has not done what is right, and they're just protecting their 34th vote.
And this has got the thing about the ethics committee with this, which I would really enjoy to find out, because it's very a lot of layers here. Evidently, this guy that Bobby Joe Champion was giving pro bono attorney work for is because supposedly that company was being sued by 4 different companies for not paying their rent by up to almost $500,000. I don't know how good a friend you are, but if Al comes up to Housley and said, by the way, I'm $500,000 in the hole, can you help me out? And we get you through the legal battle. Then you come back and you send me $3 million in, you know what I'm saying? They're not running the company too good. I mean, I don't know all the details, but I would love to find out how you get to the top of the we'll send you $3 million list if you just use the president of the Senate to get you out of a $500,000 hole for not paying your rent. You know what I'm saying? There's more here than anybody. That's just, you're that far in the hole? Let me give you the state of Minnesota checkbook.
And, just being a regular person in the state of Minnesota, you hear this, and that's why politicians get such a bad rap, is because of stuff like that that's going on, or even the connection of something like that going on. It's not good. And I'm hoping Bobby Joe knew better, and there's a good explanation for it. I'm hoping, and hopefully Senator Ann Rust will chair the ethics committee properly, and we will get to the bottom of it, and people in Minnesota will find out, hopefully, that he did nothing wrong. But if he did, there should be consequences, which there hasn't been with the ethics committee all year.
Well, all year, I don't know the last time I honestly thought I said, finally they said you can't do that, shame on you. It's just like the place for people to throw things up to die. One last thing, if I could, Minnesota, the country, they did this hands-off protesting thing across the state. Minnesota had, according to the story, 25,000 people at the Capitol, 2,500 up in Duluth at their city hall. People were out there. I think it's great. You have every right to stop and yell and scream. I don't have a problem with that. I will say that what I wanted to bring up with you, I thought the response by the GOP chair lacked anything. I don't mean to be cruel here, but 25,000 at the state capitol say is the most since 2017. I think there's something to it, whether people right, wrong, or indifferent. Let me see if I can find his response. If this is the best the radical left has to offer, old ideas, more government waste, and endless complaining, we'll welcome the contrast. That just seems so milquetoast. That comes right out of the GOP. Here's what you say after a festival talking point. Give me something.
Yeah. I don't think those people that were at the rally were radical left. There was some radical left, but I think there was a lot of normal Minnesotans there, and there's fear across the country right now, and even more so in Minnesota, because we were a state that voted for Kamala Harris, so they do not like Donald Trump, and we do need to be worried about 2026. That made me nervous, especially in a swing district, seeing that many normal people come out over the angst of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. That was more an anti-Trump rally, and we saw what happened in 2018. It was not a good election year for Minnesotans, Republicans. So, I mean, it's worrisome. Hopefully the messaging out of the White House to Minnesota can get a little bit better, so those can be tampered. But yeah, they weren't just in Duluth; they were in a lot of the suburbs also.
When I look at it, again, I don't want to rip the Minnesota GOP guy, new guy in there. He's got enough stuff to worry about and things that are going on. I do his thing. But if those people, like you say, regular Joes on that side, get their messaging together and figure it out. It does seem a little are you against Musk? Are you against Trump? What do it seems a little messy right now. But if they get that figured out, this could be a huge problem 18 months from now. And it just sounded to me like the GOP's like, oh, that's all they got. At 25,000 people went off Sunday. That's a lot.
Yeah, we need something a little bit more reassuring that. And again, this whole thing is just temporary. Even the stock market, I have my husband, kind of a little nervous. And I said, no, I got my email from Susie Orman. We're going to be fine. But Yeah, it should have come out a little bit more reassuring and give it time. And Trump's policies are going to work. It's only been 2 months in office, so just chill a little bit. But
hang in there.
yeah.
Let's talk your work real quick with the last minute. Minnesota legislative final deadline is this coming Friday at noon.
Yeah.
Are we running smooth? Are you thinking everything's going to be fine? Are you got anything you need to get done?
Oh, we have a lot we need to get done. And I'm sure when we come back to the break, it's really going to be just sprinting to the May 21st or whatever date we end. But over here in the Senate, I think things are going pretty smooth. The House, I hear, is just in complete disarray, just one of those shows. I don't know how they're going to be over there in the House, but let's let them figure it out. But I think we're doing okay over here in the Senate. Some things are getting crammed through, but not as much. Anything is better than what it was in 2023, 24. So I think, I'm hoping we get done on time, and I'm hoping we can get a balanced budget.
Well, you have to. It's how we get there. Absolutely. I'm out of time. I love having you on the show. We'll get you back in here next week. Fair enough?
All right. See you next week.
She's Senator Karin Housley.